if you hold altcoins, especially XRP, this episode is going to be so interesting for you because the market is showing you signs which you need to understand so that you are making the most of it. BTC dominance closed a monthly candle day after the break to the bottom, and next one we are looking for 44, 39, 35 and 32. As we drop to the downside, do understand you're gonna get changes here in the altcoin market at the time when BTC dominance has closed below this support, which is negative. Here the altcoin market cap has broken above this particular resistance and closed there. Now it's moving higher, so that's bullish. So do understand we are going to sky. Now especially for XRP, we are getting some changes here in the market where we are getting more attention because, as I posted to my patrons, like Kraken may be unleashed soon in XRP, and I have my own logic and reasoning why I suggest so. We'll go through all of these and explain through the charts because we do have some fundamentals to cover after that, which shows where we are headed and how long this market cycle is going to last for some assets, and for others it's going to be negative because the world is taking that suit on it. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. As I highlighted in my last video, don't fall for this trap. Many would be confused or some just fell for that. That's why I explained that to you, and I was surprised, the recent videos were like, the average of 10, 15k, but that one was like 5,005. Now that's cool because those who watched that knew that this was coming and they are prepared and they are positioned well enough to take those profits. Now, look at this particular XRP chart. This is a daily. Fine. What are you looking at? The RSI is in this rising channel where you have that rising trend line support from where the price is bouncing. Great, cool. Now look at the MACD there. It's also supportive. Now the MACD is in the positive side. You have to understand it's not in the negative territory, it's in the positive side, and it's crossing to the upside again after the recent correction. Even during the correction, it didn't go to the negative side. That's huge. Now, look at the volume here or the momentum here. It's turning from the negative side back to the positive side. That is huge. It's going to be huge. If you believe me or not, you can wait for a couple of weeks and a month and see what that brings. The change is going to be happening in this month, in May. When you enter May and look at this, now, those who've been waiting for this particular pump, as I've highlighted for many, we would be entering in this rally from April, May, and we already did what we had to do in April. That was a preparatory wave, and the wave 2 is going high from here. Now, as you go high, what you have to look at is this particular resistance line, which we created recently. 0.93, 0.92 range would be acting as a resistance. So when you get this break here in MACD and a move above the overbought territory in RSI, that is moving towards the upper trend line resistance here, it's going to be breaking here, and that should push the price higher all the way up to 3.3, 3.5. Now, why do I say that? Because when I look at the XRP chart on a monthly, this is what I see. XRP monthly closed here with such a huge candle. Now in a bull market, as you can see, usually what happens is you get one big candle and then it slow down. One big candle and it slow down. But remember, the RSI is in the overbought territory, and that too after 3.5 years. If you look at last time when we entered here, it's like 4 years. Now we are entering there. Here it was like, we entered here, but we exited the market from that time, right? So in that kind of perspective, what you are looking at is increasing momentum or the volume in the MACD here. Can look at how the changes were happening during the last couple of candles, and this particular rise here showed you the next one is going to be monster, and we did it. Right now you're getting similar volume here. So by the close of this particular candle, we are looking for the all-time highs and beyond. Right now, keep in mind, even if we tend to remain in this particular area without dropping, that's going to be bullish. That would show us something like this, where we are kind of having that continuity pattern, but chances are very low for that. I would actually take you guys to the live chart into that and show what we are talking about there, right? So in this particular chart, when I'm taking back to the monthly chart, this is what we are looking at. Okay, I'll just take these kind of out and show you. So here, when you actually got that one and when you were passing through the all-time highs, that was really a monstrous move again. Now understand, that's not the too big movement which you are anticipating from there, because you were somewhere here. Now this particular candle can be this one or this one, we don't know, but to be conservative, we can say we are here and we still have like say 700x from that close. So to just put that into perspective, if we are taking that 780%, that would be somewhere up, yeah, somewhere close here. That would be like $14. Then we may actually go into a consolidation for 4 to 5 months, we don't know. But understand, this market cycle has been giving some surprising changes from the last cycle, because in the last cycle we were having around 130% for the first wave, and then the second wave was monster. Here, if you are looking at this particular stuff, you can understand we actually did something like 270%. So that was double what it did in first wave. So second wave, as we know, was like 85x. So the question is, will we do like that double of 85x? 170x is going to be a monster from here, and even if I say that's going to happen, majority won't even believe unless it's happening. But yeah, let's stay conservative and look at the price. Say if you are moving into a weekly chart to understand what's coming ahead for upcoming weeks, you don't actually want to know, at least many don't want to know, okay, what's happening after 3 months. I don't care, I'm looking at next couple of weeks or next 3-4 weeks. Now usually that becomes really risky, but as we discussed here in the daily, the same stuff is happening here. You are looking at the RSI, it's trending higher, it's moving upside, and then you are looking at this break. So the previous week here is 1.98 on a weekly. So as you break through that, you kind of get an assured result that this was a correction which you were anticipating for, and that's 52% drop. Now a lot of people are really concerned about these kind of drop, but what they really miss to understand here is that, say for example, you moved up like this, great and cool, and then that monster correction which everyone was talking about was like that 50% drop as we saw. It's like this. So you went from here to here, then you got a correction like this and you're worried. And if you are an individual who gets irritated by the market fluctuation like this, it's going to be really hard for you to get that maximum profit, because you would be trying to get your profits out before any drops, and that's big mistake. This is one of the quote from Peter Lynch, which I dropped to my patrons in the monthly digest last month, and it kind of shows you this one, and it's really clear, right? Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. So if you are someone who is trying to be so smart, getting all those corrections, keep that in mind. But if you are someone who's thinking about this asset class and looking to be an investor, you are going to be making money. Now that would be like limiting your risk. Now look at this particular area where we are going to break through. So when you break through, now you can actually put a horizontal line here at the top and look at what is the nearest resistance there. So the closest resistance there which you would be looking at is this stuff, which was the weekly close there. That is like 2.2. So that's okay, fine. Then the next one is here at the top, which is like 3.4. Fine. So you have resistance at 2.2, then at 3.44. Usually what XRP does is it blasts through its first resistance and go till its second resistance and slow down. Sometimes it even blasts through the second and move towards third and slow down. But yeah, let's be conservative and say we are going to break through 2.2 and reach near the all-time highs and slow down there. What would you be doing? Do you have trading positions for which you have to take profits, or are you really confused about your exit strategy here? Because when the price is moving like this, crazy, you need to understand first we were moving like this. Okay, fine. What does that actually mean? You look at this around at bottom, which is becoming like a parabolic move, and then go back to this chart, which I have suggested, like, you know, the Kraken may be out soon. And as we go through that stuff, just take a moment and observe this one. The angle of deviation from this particular low all the way connecting towards here, you got like 11 degrees. Fine. So we were having momentum. We were having that rising trend line support. We were moving higher. Fine. So what changes did market give you in that moment? Look at that. Just a moment. You can observe that and ask yourself, what can you see there? Hope you understand that, right? So it's like from 11 degrees, you didn't go to 22, you went to 45. So that's like double, right? Double is 22. Then again, you went to 45 there. So that shows you the change in momentum, the change in trend, and the initial wave pattern there. So once that wave is kicking off, now you're looking at all of these resistance levels which the price is breaking through and coming back and retesting these levels as support now. So once you moved out of this range, now you made that as a support and the price is bouncing. So as we move through here, you can anticipate instead of 45, we may not get 90 degree, which is straight up. We may get 60 degrees, 65 degrees. Still, that is going to be giant candles as we just talked here in weekly, and then here on the monthly, that one makes sense. So this is just giving you an idea about what you can anticipate in coming weeks, right? So, and when you are looking at this, okay, the Bitcoin is moving. Fine. What is the Bitcoin doing? Right now, Bitcoin is in this trend. Usually this breaks to the upside, but we don't know, right? Bitcoin started its journey around $3,000, the bottom of this market cycle, from where we reached all the way up to $65,000, $66,000, and that's a huge run, right? For an asset to do that in a market cycle, it's not a bad thing. It's a huge recovery. It's a huge gain. Now, what are you looking from here? The price can move towards 68 and maybe wick towards 70. Now, if it closes above this one, that is like a breakout and that's bullish. We may even push towards 78, 80. We don't know. Maybe a wick towards 100,000 is also possible. But question is, from here, what is that ROI? It's not even 100% from here. Whereas you're looking at altcoin market, which is gaining against Bitcoin based on Bitcoin dominance chart, and then looking very short term on a daily compared to the monthly charts for BTC. This is a short term chart, right? So when you're looking at the stuff, it clearly gives you that indication. Even in short term average, we are going to go up 40%. And usually when the altcoin market average moves 40%, some of the coins move 50, 60, 100, even 200%. Because not every coin would be moving 40%. Coins which have done enormously well in the last 3 months would be really slow. And coins which are, at the verge of a breakout, as we mentioned in our list, in our Patreon, they're going to do exceptionally well in coming 2 months, 3 months. They're going to perform well. Now, if you actually want to get all of these updates for different assets in your portfolio, you can actually look at the Patreon where we post different assets, different charts on a regular basis. So if you want to get these updates, you can subscribe to the Patreon. The link is in the description given below. Now, with all these technicals, when we look at the fundamental side of this, that's getting really interesting, right? Look at this. Gold Telegraph actually highlighted this. Turkey has added cryptocurrency trading platform to its list of firms covered by anti-money laundering and terrorism financing. Now that means, it's now a financial service which any common man can use. Now, one of the reasons in that particular country is Turkish lira has been devalued, right? The value of that fiat currency went down, so they don't have much of a choice. But look further. Majority of the economy, which is printing a ton load of money right now, is having the same risk of hyperinflation, devaluing their fiat currencies. So this can actually come true because any asset is going to stay like that. And this particular tweet from Brian Brooks shows you the way ahead, right? For those wondering how fintech and crypto will change the future, risk of crashes and recessions, I can't recommend this book. So he's actually recommending that book. If you want to read that, you can read that, but I'm not kind of advocating you to do that. Instead, I'm giving you that idea to understand this idea has been stated before by Chris Larsen years ago, stating we have an asset already prepared to slow down the upcoming crash. What if those liquidity move to an asset which has that interoperability layer? What if that ILP becomes that solution? It's going to be a huge market cap which you guys won't be able to accept now. Majority will say, I can't accept that kind of a market cap for that kind of an asset. But what they miss here is, like, governments in last 1 year printed like $22 trillion, and they are moving forward to another 2 trillion. Like, they are all looking at printing money as fast as they can. Look at the history, how long it took for governments to print $20 trillion before, and all of that happened in just 1 year. So if you are saying money cannot be devalued, or fiats can't actually move in such a way that the crypto would be having the market cap of 20 trillion, 50 trillion, you are not actually looking at the big picture. You need to understand, you can't say crypto is in a bubble when it's at $2 trillion market cap. If you are saying that, it's completely up to you, that's your decision. But understand, we are moving into a territory where we are moving for sustainable energy, and more money would be pushed in. 20 trillion won't be the end, but yeah, you can look at least 18 to 20 trillion. Demand for renewable energy for proof of work mining isn't the problem. Quite the opposite, actually. But he's highlighting that even in Nordic countries where they kind of had that renewable energy to use this mining, now it's getting lower. The issues are raising, but it's not only in Europe. You can actually look at this. China will make cutting emissions a focus for its ecological strategy in the next 5 years. Now, this is not only about China or one Nordic country. Go look at UN reports, go look at IMF reports, which actually suggest you the Agenda 2021, then the Agenda 2030, which is moving a lot towards zero emission, cutting back all those carbon emission, cutting back all those issues, and moving into a sustainable society. So this focus gives you a lot of idea where we are heading. Why? Because it's not only one or two governments or banks moving in this way, it's a lot of different central banks moving into payments, as we highlighted in the last discussion. Singapore Monetary Authority and Bank of Thailand is kind of joining in this payments process, and they are not actually going to use stuff which is not sustainable. And at the same time, this is not only central banks, this is investors coming in. So here the Horowitz plans actually 1 billion into cryptocurrency using a venture capital fund. So that's like third crypto vehicle from long time support of the sector. So when these amounts are coming in, it won't just be one. Say he put in money. Okay, you just take an example of you putting money, say 100 grand into crypto, and you make $1 million in 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, and you would be shouting out with joy with to your friends, relatives, and others would come with 10, 20, 50, whatever they have to. They will just try it out. Similarly, this is going to be a flywheel effect which is going to be kicked in soon. So while you look at the technicals and see the fundamentals evolving, you definitely need to understand that. Now, what about some short-term aspects of XRP? You can actually go into a 4-hour chart of XRP and look what's happening. Now, that's really an interesting view to see right now. Now, what do I mean by that? You can actually clearly see that we had a previous resistance here, and we add that resistance right now, which means a break there would give you more momentum. Now, you have to actually understand, if you zoom in and try to plot this line, you have a trend line like this, and you are breaking that one with RSI moving into the overbought territory, but the MACD is not crossing to the downside there. It looks like that, but if you zoom in, you'll see that it's bouncing up. That's very good. Now, what are you looking at? This particular trend you are watching in RSI. So you need to get a bounce. Now, that's on a 4-hour, right? So if you actually zoom in even further, you can even go to 1 hour or 2 hour, depending upon how you look at the market. But this is the trend. You actually broke above. You are now reaching that top. You're breaking above that. The candle came back, retested the break, and went back up and closed. So that's actually bullish, way more bullish than you anticipate. So you can even consider this as a bull flag, which is not that Okay, you can't use actually that one. Instead you can actually put something like this is happening there. So we went up, we had a flag there, then we went up, we're getting another flag here. So after the break we are going higher. So when we are going higher, the recent highs here for 1.9, that range is going to be acting as a resistance. So if you are trading, position yourself, don't chase the price. Always buy into the dips and align yourself into 30-40% dips when it comes, and have that dry powder to kick in. If you have that silver bullet to shoot in, that's when you position yourself well in the market. So guys, I hope you received value, and if you did, please do support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And if you would like to get more on different assets, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.